Oh, hey there, Mr. Nick. How you doing, buddy?
Oh, hey, Mr. Verno, how are you this fine evening?
Hey, man, I'm hanging in there, living the good life, doing well, and yeah, just chilling. How about you?
Just chilling out and have my Zen tea and my Pete and C cup going here, my Pete and C mug. I have to make
Okay,
sure I got the chill Zen tea. I have one that is invigorate Zen tea, and it's too close to my bedtime to be cranking up the caffeine.
okay. Well, I like your festive wear you got rocking there.
Thank you.
Yeah,
It's
you have the same thing in mind. Oh! It's protected. It's got the
yep,
official seal of deterrent.
yes, the festive seal of deterrent because
Oh, whoa,
it's a
man! Look at that. That's good
Yeti
stuff.
sweater and it's in demand.
All right. All right, man. Well, hey, this is I upgraded from the women's section of Salvation Army, and last year upgraded to the men's section. But it's still got the quality of the Salvation Army. Little
Nice.
went through the ringer before it got here. So
That's why how
I,
it
I
got red.
guess
That's styling.
and
I like
my I was waiting
Must
for it.
get
It's the
winners.
best of times. It's the worst of times.
Mhm.
All right, yeah, a lot of stuff going, and the weather. I'm like, now's the time where we've said it before. Teachers tend to be really weather geeks, watching the YouTube channels, watching the Gulf Stream, what's going to happen, So we're supposed to get a little bit now northwest of you. I guess they got shellacked like last week.
Yeah.
I know we were talking at the board meeting and asking some of our Erie friends, like, oh yeah, 14 and a half inches, and I was like, huh. What happened? What do schools do with 14 and a half inches in Erie? And they're like, 2 hour delay. And I was like, we hit 3 inches and right around 3 inches and above. And we're like debating about calling off schools around here. And I don't know. So, yeah, so they definitely live tougher.
Yeah, they got some today because one of our retired teachers comes in and works with our mock trial team, and he's just north of he's just Butler County, like southern Butler County. And snow
Okay.
was sticking on the ground today. We were just had flurries today. Did you guys get any snow today?
No, nothing whatsoever. It was like, mid 40s and not too bad.
Yeah, we were, mist, then flurries, then a mix of rain and snow, but nothing stuck to the ground. So
Got you.
I
Yeah,
was
that's crazy.
I walk into my buddy's classroom. He has the seniors. I don't have seniors anymore. And like right before lunch, when it starts to snow, I'll walk in and I'll be like, have you heard anything about open lunch? Did they make an announcement? The seniors like, they're going to cancel open. It's not even snowing. I'm like, I was just wondering if they made an announcement. I'm not saying anything. I walk out and they get all flustered. I get thank you for, yeah. So I haven't seen him. I haven't taught him in 2 years. I got to get my, got
Yeah,
to get him shake the hornet's nest a little bit and walk away.
that's funny. Get a little payback action. That's
Yeah.
hilarious. Oh, that's good. Tech the Halls is coming around, and it's a big thing
Yes.
for PACT, and it's kind of that time of year where people are starting to get festive, and you hear, here and there, kids will play some little bit of Christmas music, and I'll talk about playing some music in your classroom. I had a little bit of the TSO playing this morning when the kids were coming in the building, and I got a couple kids who are like, I like Christmas, but don't play Christmas music, so it's funny. So you got all the kids across the way, but there's just a different air, or feel in the air, I guess. And but yeah, a lot of stuff to talk about, Tech the Halls, we were being thankful last time, and, got a great guest lined up and other stuff going on. But, you're here, I'm here. I think it's Tuesday. What
Tuesday,
do you think?
time for
The PACT pod.
Should set it in synchronous stereophonic sound.
Let's roll it. Welcome to the PACT pod. This is a show for educators by educators. PACT sponsors. It's a 100% volunteer run organization that focuses on educational technology use in the classroom in Pennsylvania and beyond. My name is Eric Verto. I'm the fortune and blessing of being the vice president of PACT. And with me tonight, as always, my co-host.
Dom Salvucci. I'm the regional director of the Southwest region of PAECT.
Yeah, and we're coming off of a great weekend of all of our regional directors, some of our committee chairs getting together. We get together in State College quarterly to go over a lot of different things, talking about PAECT coming up in February. Just talking about all the things that are happening across the great Commonwealth of Pennsylvania and beyond in our out-of-state region. A lot of great stuff, a lot of good stuff at the meeting. What do you think, Tom?
Great meeting, great catching up with people. We got a lot of work done. Take care of short-term business, things that need taken care of to keep the organization running, and long-term plans and building things out so we stay proactive and serve our membership into the future.
Yeah, and I mean, and the most important part is our regional directors are boots on the ground. All the stuff that's going on, just hearing all the stuff that's happening in the ed tech field, trying to do what we can to spread the word, to do trainings, to do get-togethers. It's what it's all about. And the awesome thing is, Dom and I always like to say is PAECT is only as great as our members. And fortunately, our members are amazing and help make the organization so strong.
And it's great catching up. It's great sharing ideas. I know the regional directors, we bounce ideas off each other. I know we were doing a lot of coordinating because there's an overlap with around the periphery of each region. There's an overlap between, Southwest goes from where I live, border of Beaver, Lawrence County, all the way down to West Virginia border, over to Altoona, and up to like Butler area. Just Butler's in Northwest. Northwest runs from Lake Erie, Ohio border, partway over to Penn State, like past Punxsutawney. And there's that overlap. I know the region you live in, South Central, overlaps with part of the eastern part of Southwestern region. So we were talking about, especially over the summer, once it's not dark at 4:30 p.m. and the sun's out and it's a little bit warmer, trying to get the regions together and do some cross region events. And we have an event coming up in the Southwest on a Saturday in downtown Pittsburgh, January 20th. We'll talk about later. But I know people from the Northwest region are interested in coming down. So, and some of our members travel up to the Northwest. I know we've done events out and gone to events out in North Central and South Central and stuff. People crisscross back over. You famously started by going to an out of region event when you first started.
Yeah. I mean, wasn't much happening in my neck of the woods, and I sought it out, and that's a beautiful segue in to kicking off today's guest. So we're going to focus on Tech the Halls, and I think it's time that we right away jump into our special guest. What do you think?
I think that would be great. I'm looking forward to
here we go.
Talking with him.
Let's go. All right, here we go. B. Lutzy. Brandon, how you doing, buddy?
Good. How are you? Thanks for having me.
Hey, we're doing well. Had to have you, man. Definitely. So talking about, kind of how Dom was kind of like heading it off and doing a good job of setting up the ball so I could just hit it off the tee. Many, many years ago, gosh, it would have been 2007, I think. I was trying to figure out, this PAECT thing and kept hearing about it. A couple of times I was at P&C and I'm looking. I'm like, okay, Philadelphia, not too far of a drive, and drive to some random Wegmans. I'm walking through there, like no idea what I'm doing, and get connected with your crew. And at that time, you were a regional director, and from there to regional director to vice president, so kind of crazy. And I'm pretty sure you had a similar scenario.
For sure. So it wasn't 2007. I think it was.
No.
It was probably. I think I became regional director in 2012. So.
Oh, so it was later. Okay.
A little crazy, right? That was Keystone's time, I think. It was 2007.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it brought back memories when you asked me to come on. I was like, oh my gosh, Tech the Halls. It was pretty cool, to start trying to build the region. That was right when we started really getting the regions going and stuff like that. That was like one of my first events, I think. It's awesome.
Yeah. So, Tech the Halls is this month, Pete. It's become a PAECT tradition. So it's kind of, well, first of all, let's back up. I'm all excited. Let's say, so, all right. So what are you doing in your life right now? I know you're not in the classroom teaching. What are you doing?
No, I am a tech director at the school district of Springfield Township. I've been there 3 months. So I made a move. I was director of innovation in Abington previously. So, I moved. I was in the classroom for years and instructional coach, then worked for the Bucks County IU and supervisor of instructional technology. And now, it's neat to see take the path of a teacher can become a tech director. And I think you see more and more of that because being able to bridge the gap between teaching and learning, and also, the technology, the hardware, the network, all that stuff, that's really important. And I feel like I bring a lot to the table because I have the experience as a teacher, also leading PACT. That really helps me to help, the students in Springfield and the staff and teachers and everyone in the whole district.
Yeah. That's also kind of hits the next question, as you're touching upon what you've done with PACT, how long ago did you get, was it about 2012? Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah, so I first got involved with Kristen Hokinson, working with her when she was regional director, and Brooke Malartrick. We helped her run some events and stuff like that, got involved, and then ran for director and did it for 2 years, and then ran for the gauntlet of VP president and past president PACT. So I had an 8-year stint on the board, which was awesome. A lot of fun. I miss the meetings. I miss seeing all of you. But it was being in part of PACT and helping to bring Keystones back and, really help grow membership and build and be a part of the family at PACT. It's I miss it. It's been a couple years now that I haven't been as involved, but maybe someday.
Yeah, we always talk about that. Go ahead, Dom.
No, I remember going way back. I'm thinking maybe it was around 2012. You ran, it was a Build-A-Bear, like a flat, was it the turtle?
Oh, yes.
A flat stand, because my kids did that.
Yep.
And in fact, my daughter was little at the time. She took it into school, and it was based off of Wiki Spaces. It was a 3-dimensional flat Stanley. It was a Build-A-Bear animal.
Yep.
Doing world travels, blogging, taking pictures, webpage. I remember all that. That's I'd known you a little bit beforehand. Then I got involved in that, and that really pulled me in. And
it's
that was way back.
That was 2007. So
okay,
the Keystone in 2007, and that was my project from Keystones, Morpheus Fortuna. Stuffed Build-A-Bear that traveled all over the world. It actually got lost in Africa for about half a year. We weren't sure we were going to see him again. It's actually a project I'd love to get started again. I want to talk to some of my teachers. It'd be neat things have changed so much. Wiki Spaces doesn't even exist anymore, right? So it's interesting with all the changes that have occurred, and all we had to do now, there's so many new and different things. So that's something in the back of my mind. I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah, that was a great project. My kids, high school level kids, they were going over to read at the elementary. Can we take it? And that was one of the things you had to kind of use it. Like you can't be goofing around. This is not our project. And even some of the kids who had a tendency to want to goof, they're like, if I behave and I don't get in trouble, can I take? I'm like, sure, not a problem. It was a great motivation to get the kids involved, and they enjoyed it. You wouldn't think high school kids would be into that, but they were taking it.
Yeah.
Were you share any more about that? I was delaying there, Brandon.
Oh, no, sorry, no, because that was back in the CFF days. Because I was, I think that's about the time I was moving up to be a CFF coach in our district.
Yeah, I think I became a CFF coach 2009. So
yeah, I think that's about the same year I moved up as part-time coach, because we just ran it with the grant. Then once the grant went away, I was rolled back into the classroom. But it was around that time. That's the CFF coaching got me involved. I was friends with people in PAECT. I think I knew you before I was actually involved in PAECT. And then the CFF coaching got me pulled in, and got me to Pete and everything else. And that's whenever I started making the connections beyond, Twitter and everything else. Because I remember the first couple years, the first Pete and C, when everyone was on Twitter, we had our Twitter ID so we could identify each other, because we hadn't seen each other very rarely. It was, across the state. And You know, everyone's looking around like, oh, hey, I know you. You know, we talk all the time online.
Look at that the picture on Twitter. You're like, wait,
Yeah.
is that them? Wait, I think I know you. And then you go up and you have a conversation. It's like we've never met before, but that communication back and forth, and you know, it was crazy. You
Yeah, another connection. Rochelle is saying hi. She's checking us out on LinkedIn.
Hi, Rochelle.
Hey, Rochelle.
Yeah, so Morpheus, I believe, right? And then you started with that. That was during the Keystones, and then you came on as regional director. And was it about that first year where you came up with the idea for Tech the Halls?
Yeah, I want to say, gosh, a long time ago. That was one of our first events. I think we might have run it before I was regional director, one time, and then we did it again at Wegmans. You know, and the whole idea was, you know, have an event, get everyone together, and you know, share. I mean, that's when we started like doing the share, like the random share. Everyone just to come up and share a cool tool or something they're using in the classroom that the kids really liked and that was really changing practice. So it just, it's funny. You didn't think it was going to be that big a deal. It's pretty awesome to think how many years later we're still doing it, 10 years later. But the whole idea is about bringing everyone together and collaborating and, you know, just fostering relationships. I mean, that's the one thing with all my mantras, you know, it's truly about relationships and having a strong group of people around you, PAECT, you know, people in your district, in your region, and supporting each other when you're having troubles, reaching out. You know, we all talk to each other multiple times over how many years when we've been dealing with issues in our own district and we can support each other. So that was the whole idea. It was just bring everyone together, you know, socialize, but also share and walk away with some valuable tools you can take back to the classroom.
Yeah, and that's become such a powerful model for what our regions do on a monthly basis, and kind of going from there. And the wild thing is, back when PACT started many years prior to that, you know, there was no social media. There wasn't a lot of this information at your fingertips. There wasn't TikTok, all that. Even Twitter was just kind of starting out, and some people were on Plurk and were on different things that aren't around. And so it kind of was that point of like, it was the social media platform. Everybody was coming together. That's the time things were being shared. Then email kicked in, email distros kicked in, you know, newsletters. So all the transitions that occurred. But that is awesome to think that, you know, Tech the Halls has just, you know, continued to flow and to be what it is. That's definitely awesome.
Yeah. It's funny. I hadn't really thought about it much until we had talked a couple of days ago, you know, and it made me reflect and think about, you know, the getting to events and meeting new people and everything with PACT. I feel like moving, you know, as I moved up my career, it's some of that going to events and stuff I've lost a little bit, and it's you know, need to get it back. It's funny how life changes some though.
Yeah, it's a recharge, right? It's a great way to recharge your battery and get with people. So it's awesome. Yeah. And I mean, even though you've been doing your thing, I feel like, you know, you're always a text away, always a phone call away from, I'm sure, anybody who reaches out to you. You know, I know when we're at our state meetings and stuff, our quarterly meetings, you know, state college, I like to shoot you a message here and there. And yeah, it's just all the good times. So that's, you know, that's great. Now let's take it back even further. You were a part of a program called KTI.
Yeah, so I was a Keystone in 2007. That's where I met Scott Snyder and a bunch of other folks. And the state ran KTI at that time. And then around 2009, 2010, the funding went away. It was a lot to do with the CFF, like we were talking about. You know, Keystones, if there's one professional development or one time in my life that I feel like just changed my trajectory, it was Keystones. I just finished my master's degree, and I felt like that week-long session that week was more impactful than getting my master's degree, believe it or not. It's just the people I met. That's where I learned about PACT. That's where I learned about PETNC. Started going to PETNC, got involved with PACT, going to some regional events and things like that. So, you know, Keystones, if you haven't been nominated, go to your principal and ask them, to nominate you. It's a week in the summer, and I know some people don't want to do that week in the summer. Oh, it's my summer vacation. I strongly suggest it's worth the week.
Yeah.
It's life-changing. Some of my best friends are from that week, and what occurred after that time, and then it was awesome that we were able to, part of when I was vice president of PAECT, we were able to bring back Keystones, and it's actually been running longer now through PAECT than it ever did through the state. So yeah. I'm really proud of that, and it's about bringing that same experience back to all the teachers in the state. And there's so many people that have been affected, and you look at people that have gone through Keystones and where they are today. I don't know if I would have been a tech director if I wouldn't have had that experience. And honestly, I was sort of shy. I really didn't want to go. A friend of mine pushed me to do that, Joe Wall, and I'm so glad I went, because it truly was life changing. I can't say anything more about it. It was awesome.
Yeah. You're what would be a lead learner now. I think that's where we met. You were a lead learner there, because I was, I think, 2009. Then I came back as at the time was a Keystone mentor the following year.
Yep, 2000. I was on staff 2009. Yeah, that's where. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
And like you said, there's people I met those 2 years and then through Keystones coming up as a regional director, coming up meeting people and stuff. Those connections are strong, and it's a fantastic. It's intense, but it's a good intensity, and those connections and that network is strengthened everyone involved. That's what I like about it. It's I always say there's no reason to rebuild the wheel when there's millions of editions out there, and you can pick and choose, and everyone shares ideas and supports each other. I like that.
Yeah, and if you walk around like PAECT and you ask how many of the presenters and people that are there are Keystones, you'd be surprised.
Yeah,
are Keystones, and if they're not, talk to them about becoming one. Right?
Yes, and if for some reason your school's already given out its nomination, check with the regional directors, because we do have nominations we can give out. So if you're interested in becoming a KTI, and your school's already nominated somebody, reach out to us, reach out to your regional director, and we'll see what we can do for you.
And it's not like you have to be a rock star with technology either. If you're teaching and, you feel like you want to try to do new things, it's all levels of folks make Keystones, make Keystones and be a part of it. So
yeah, it's more about the ideas than it is the actual technology. It's what are you doing with it? Because the technology is just a tool. It's the ideas and how you implement it that counts.
Yeah, and don't think, oh, people are better than me or whatever. I was in that boat. Like I was like, I'm just stay in my classroom, do my thing, and it took somebody to push me to get out of my comfort zone, and it exploded with finally giving me the confidence to try to be a leader. I've really never had any leadership opportunities, and PAECT provided that. Keystones is what pushed me to start presenting and do all that stuff. So it's wherever you are in your career, it's never too late.
Yep. And it's funny, as Don was saying that about Keystones, and we're plugging it a little bit. I'm like, I think you could go back to episode 35, 36, 37.
Yeah.
Because pre-Keystones and post-Keystones, we had people on talking all about it. So I had the bit.ly up there. Let me put it up there again. Nominations are still open. bit.ly/capital KTIN, and then nomination lowercase, so KTI nominations. But definitely, do that. And then Dom, great advice. Reach out to a regional director if somebody has already been nominated in your school. You maybe have another idea, or you're looking to get nominated. So, definitely reach out there. And like Brandon said, I think so many people say the trajectory of life does. It definitely has a pinnacle point in a lot of people's lives. And then the other thing too is at PAECT Tuesday, Purple Tuesday, wearing your KTI purple, and people going around and sharing. And then the cool thing is, listen, if you're at PAECT and you see Brandon, go say hi. Don't hesitate. Don't think, oh my gosh, we just all love being around people, and we love chatting and sharing, and and I guess we should also throw that you were always big for kicking off. I think you started 60 and 60. Am I right?
Yep. That was around the same time, 2007 with Keystones. Got the idea. I think it was after that I went to PAECT, and I saw somebody present, and they were going to show 50 tools in the hour allotted time, and they only got through like 30 or so, and I was like, I wonder if I could do a presentation, because I totally got into the web tools and everything like that. It's like, I wonder if I could create a presentation where I share 60 things, and I guarantee that I'm going to share 60 things. And actually the first time I presented 60 and 60 was at Keystones in 2009. So it's funny how everything intertwines and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm still doing 60 and 60. I'm doing 60 and 60 with Aaron Sams at PAECT this year, where we are doing 60 AI tools. So
Wow.
Some tools, and also it's some thoughts and ideas about AI, sharing some resources since it's so new and scares a lot of people. There's not really any anything like any information about restrictions on using AI. People, it's plagiarism. Well, is it? Because it's not listed as plagiarism. So I think a lot of people are concerned about it. But I think there's positives and negatives that we need to have the discussion about. So, where I was looking for was like state policies on AI. There's really not anything. California came out with something they suggested, but at the end they say, this isn't mandated. This is just our suggestions on how you can handle AI. So it's just in its infancy too. So it's going to be really interesting to see how it can really help, I think, teachers, and but we also need to teach the kids about it, because they can't just have it create a paper for them and submit it. They need to be engaged with it. So that's just the tip of the iceberg. It's sort of scary with all the stuff going on with video and stuff like that too. You can literally take somebody's voice and some video of them, and it will create a video of them saying anything the person wants them to say. So how do we handle that? So sorry, I got to pull on the AI.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's right.
My dad always said, he was a teacher, and he always said, if it's important for your career, make sure you have a seat at the table, because you may not get your ideas through, but at least you're giving it a shot to have influence over something that's going to affect you. And as teachers, AI is changing so quickly and it's so new. We do have to have a seat at the table and hopefully have some input as to how it's used and work, with the ethics and how people view it, because it's there. You can't just ignore it, because it's not going to go away.
Yep.
Unless a major company buys it and kills it.
I know. Yeah. And like Brandon, you're talking about governance, right? There's not a lot of governance there right now and how it's being utilized. I know in the Microsoft circles, sitting in different sessions, hearing about the stuff and the way they're thinking about it's been impressive. I got an opportunity to go to the New York City offices of Google, got to hear some of their thoughts about it. It was really powerful. And then the wild thing is the MIEE community is a self-nomination, and they give you some questions to ask. And they took an extended month to review the applications, because they detected a strong use of, ChatGPT and different things to answer questions. And they kind of went through, and that became a reality. So we don't shy away from it. Like, you have two choices: put your head in the sand, or turn into the wave and let's go for it. I think every week we're trying to highlight stuff. Dom's been cheating on his tech notes every week, because he's been just picking the different pieces of Magic School.
Magic School AI.
Magic School AI, and he's just been living in that pool for a while. But I definitely think that's big. And again, that was even a talk at our state board meeting too. Just that, being staying in touch of the concept of whether it's the governance or different things that are coming out from the Commonwealth, but then also keeping our teachers in the know of what's coming out. And Rochelle, who popped on, has been doing a lot with going to different conferences, sharing, doing stuff at Otis. We got some members that are doing a lot. Sounds like Aaron Sams being members and former president, just doing a lot with it. So that's what we have to do. That's what we have to be. It's just this is the time. Yeah.
And
I would say the one thing that I think is important, I think it's to use it for recommendations and things like that is great. If you put a lot of information, paragraphs of information that you want to share, and it puts it in the format for you, so you don't have to do that formatting, it's huge. But the key thing, the one thing I want to share with everybody is don't put your name and district and stuff like that in there. Put in district instead, then replace it afterwards, because who knows what we're adding to when we're putting all those searches and stuff in. So that's one thing to say to everybody. Yeah, don't put your name and just put in a fake name or whatever and then change it, just because you don't know where that information or data is going right now. So that's my one key thing. Just make sure you keep it anonymous. I'm doing some internet safety sessions with students right now in the district, and trying to make sure keep your information private. Right, you don't know who you're sharing it with. So I just had to say that.
And even for the amount of time we spent talking about AI, with me with Magic School AI, we barely scratched the surface. I've done a couple different things. I use it more for differentiation. I'll come up with my lessons and everything myself, and I put that information out there. But then in past episodes, if you go back through the podcast and look at different ways I can grab the vocab, and I can push out the vocab for kids to practice it, 7th grade level, 12th grade level, 10th grade level, and same with the questions. So if I have kids at different reading levels, it's the same information, but instead of me trying to break it down here, let AI take my information that I've curated and put it down at a level for the students, so I can I spend more time making copies for kids on paper than it takes to make the actual differentiated levels. So that's, like I said, we've talked, it's like having a grad assistant in your classroom if you're using it that way.
Yeah, the best line about it I've heard is use it as a thought companion, a thought partner. So as we close out on our time, because we don't want to keep you too late because you got stuff to do.
Yeah.
Just to kind of kick it back to Tech the Halls, our current banner that's been created by the regional directors. We got Tech the Halls, and they are actually taking it to a little different level, and they're going to be doing a Zoom Tech the Halls trivia. And then I'll make sure that our faces aren't covering this when Brandon does leave. But that is in the PAECT calendar. We are going to be highlighting it. So the cool thing about it, and I don't know how much you followed it as far as the different things, Brandon, but we've kind of taken it when, kind of COVID hit, Tech the Halls, we said, we're doing it across all the regions and out of state with Zoom and the ability to video conference. So for a while now, we've been joining forces across the regions and utilizing that. So not only is it started in the Southeast, it started in, whether it was the Wegmans where you thought about it or in your place there in the Philly area. And now it's just expanded to the Commonwealth. And like I said, as we say, beyond in Florida, North Carolina, and and out of the country if possible. We do have members that are all over the world. So, but it's really cool. So that'll be this year. So hopefully you get an opportunity December 13th. It's at 7 p.m. It'd be good to see Brandon Lutz at the trivia, but I know it might interfere with your cornhole. Just throwing it out there. I don't know.
Is that a Wednesday? Is it a Wednesday?
Yes.
I think it is.
Yes.
Actually,
it is.
I'll be in Disney with Michelle. So actually, I tried to wear an ugly shirt. I forgot to show.
So yes, let's go. I was going to get to that. So we got the how to get nice.
Sure, premature.
All right. I like it.
No. Yeah, we will have
a question for you. Oh, go ahead, Dom.
We will have prizes for some of the trivia winners. Regions are kicking out prizes, gift cards for various winners. So that's something to keep in mind for those of you that are, should you go, should you not go? You have a chance to win gift cards, chance to win prizes. So check us out.
We might have to somebody throw in free cornhole lessons, throw it out there. Hey, think about that one, Brandon. All right. So final question before we let you go. Yep. When we remember to ask this of our guests, we do, and it's usually a good time. In life or at school, what would your superpower be? That's part A. And then part B would be if you could have any superpower. What would
What would you want?
Wow. So it's funny. I sat at the dinner table tonight, and I asked that question to Michelle and my son Will, and she said making friends. I was thinking it was leadership, superpowers, bringing people together. Bringing people together. And
you're up here,
You know what I mean? Like,
I hear you. Yeah.
but,
Yeah.
you know, making people feel comfortable. You know, being an instructional coach, like, you know, talking with people, you know, caring, that type of. And I think that's what she meant by making friends. You know, I think that's my superpower. It's making people comfortable and become friends easy, stuff like that. So, and what superpower would I want to have? Man, that's a tough one. I think I'd like to fly.
Cape or no cape? Where we at?
Doesn't matter.
Oh, if you watch The Incredibles, that has to be no cape. Because capes are bad.
Imagine just
Capes look cool, but they're bad news.
Just fly anywhere you want. So
yeah. Just say, all right, Michelle, here we go. Disney it is. Yeah, it'd be pretty cool.
Well, thanks for having me.
Oh, that's awesome.
Well,
hey, man, thank
on,
you
Brandon.
so much. Listen, we appreciate you not only just being a friend of ours, a friend of many people who are listening, you know, friend of the PACT, but I just appreciate you truly forging the path where we're at.
Yeah.
I know you and I have conversations, and you know, with you being you know, away from it a little bit, I often reflect on things that we're discussing in these meetings that you're no longer a part of. We wouldn't be having that discussion if we didn't have the ground and the base that was established by you and many before you. But truly, some stuff that you did is very powerful and still having an effect. And as always, Brandon, we are always making sure to be fiscally responsible.
Fiscally responsible.
I like responsible.
All right, man. Well, hey, I appreciate you. There you go. All right, appreciate you, buddy. Have a you know, safe travels next week. I guess that's when you're heading out. Enjoy that time at Disney. And hey, man, thanks for being you.
Take care. Great catching up again, Brandon.
See you guys. Take care.
All right. See ya. All right. What a dude. What a guy.
I mean, it's great catching up with everybody because we said, you know, with Scott, who we've had on, who has the longest streak so far, continuous streak of, you know, one of my mentors. Brandon, same way. Back whenever I was first, you know, dipping my foot into the pond of ed tech and expanding beyond, you know, my own classroom and connecting with people. Those guys were ahead of me, and I looked up to them and got a lot of ideas. And, you know, that friendship pulled me into PAECT and moved me forward. So it's awesome. Great catching up with them.
All right. Well, speaking of PAECT, I think we should go through our preview for the month and look at what's going on
in good.
PAECT's neck of the woods. All right. So here we go. Kicking off. Looking at, I always forget. Sometimes I'm on the wrong screen when I go to Zoom. All right. So this month we are kind of looking at it December, you know, just looking at the calendar. We got the pod going. Tech the Halls trivia is happening next week. But December's kind of light because, you know, there's some big things that happen in December around the world, you know, so
many holidays. Holidays. Yeah. Sorry. My misspeak.
No, you're good. So anyway, then we go into January, and now we got the book study, the AI classroom, the ultimate guide. We got a Flux Space meetup that I think you're going to talk about a little bit later, as well as the Tretzy. You're kind of monopolizing the week of the 15th there.
Yes.
So then, you know, that's a big one too, to check this out. Getting into the book study. I just want to click in here. Looking at, you know, Daniel Fitzpatrick, Amanda Fox, Brad Weinstein wrote the AI classroom, the ultimate guide. So it kicks off. So there's time to get in. They got 30 people currently registered. So exciting stuff going on there. So again, just even as, you know, Brandon was sharing, like, you know, PACT, we are trying to make sure that we are right there with all the different things going on AI.
Yeah.
And just doing a quick scan through the Glide show. The 13th is kind of highlighted, and there's going to be an ed camp at CCIU. The Southeast is going to be hosted. They have turned to be announced. And just the January, Library Goose Chase. That's something that was not on the calendar. So, you know what, PACT and Goose Chase, I think back fondly to when we had them on the pod.
Yeah.
I really think we need to reach out to them again. So a lot of good stuff.
They were great guests.
Yeah. So Dom, I cut you off there. You were going to share something. I apologize.
No, that's okay. Well, my kids that I've had for over the last couple of years, like, are you doing the holiday goose chase again? I'm like, I'll see, because it varies, you know, up and down with my classes, and the kids get into it. They like that. Some of my seniors that no longer have, I see them in the cafeteria, like, oh, are you doing that again? Can we jump in if we do it? I'm like, you can, but I can't give you a grade. Like, you know, but they enjoy Goose Chase. They had fun with it. We did, you know, no, we didn't go around town. I just, because it was during COVID, so we did the online versions and just the virtual Goose Chases. But that was good. That's a good one. Some of the things on the, you know, check between the glide show and the calendar, because we have a mix. I know we went to update a bunch of stuff this weekend, and we're in the process between the working meeting and the regional directors meeting. We were getting stuff pushed out to both sites. So you can check the glide show to see what's going on, but you sign up through PAECT.org. Go into the calendar, click the events tab and see what's going on, but you'll register through there. And actually on the 14th and 15th, I don't have those two on. I'm going to put them on the calendar. But Tretzi, and I'll talk about that when we get into the tech notes. It's a 2-day event in Pittsburgh, and then we have the after event in the afternoon. So there's a lot going on, but that sign up will be outside of PAECT.org. Then you go into February, and we'll talk more about that in depth as we go through the episodes, but that's Pete and C. And I know, you know, with the regional directors, we were talking Monday and Tuesday, we're going to have the meet and greets at the PAECT booth, because PAECT will have the booth set up there. So we'll have prizes. Right now we're going to have a drawing. We did confirm we're bringing a pancake robot, and we're working on some other prizes for drawings at the booth. So you can check that out. But there's a lot going on, Pete. And then the regions will do stuff in some virtual meetups and some post Pete and C meetups around the region. So there's a lot could be going on.
Yeah. So real quick, the bit.ly/PAECT events, and that's capital PAECTE and then lowercase VENTS. That'll get you to the glide show, and then PAECT.org/calendar. And then that'll get you to the calendar that I showed there. And then just to give, since we mentioned it, hold on one second. I hit a button and I have music playing. All right. So just to show, give them a little plug, because we do so much with Goose Chase. This is the Goose Chase website, goosechase.com account. And they do have, as Dom said, you could do a couple things online as far as using their free version. And then they have an EDU version that can be used. So a lot of really good stuff there with Goose Chase. Yeah. All right, man. So I think we're ready for tech notes. And I think I'm going to, give you the honors to go first. And since you kind of primed the pup and talked a little bit about what you're going to be doing. So let's cue up the transition here and let's get some tech notes flying. Here we go.
All right. So my first topic that I'm going to discuss is, let me get onto my cursor on the right screen. It is Tretzi. It is the Three Rivers Educational Technology Conference. If you just type in Tretzi.org, it'll pop up pghtech.org events, Tretzi_2024. And it starts, the official conference is Monday, January 15th, 2024 at South Fayette High School. It's right off Interstate 79 in Bridgeville. Weighs it. It is transformative ed tech, revolutionizing learning and work. There is a pre-conference the night before. Early Innovation and Education Award networking event, January 24th at the CMU Entertainment Technology Center. If you are a PAECT member, reach out to me. They do have a discount for groups, and PAECT is considered a group, so we can get you discounted tickets. The conference itself is the 15th at South Fayette High School, and there's a dual conference going on. There's the actual conference, and then the World of Work Pittsburgh. It's a 2-day teacher training. There are some school districts around Pittsburgh that are working with the World of Work. They have a 2-day event starting the 15th and rolling into the 16th They're actually 3 days because they have the pre-conference event. And we will be there post-Tretzy meetup. Let me pull this up here. It'll be at the Top Golf, which is right down the road from South Fayette High School. Unwind Review Day at Tretzy. PACT will pay for the apps. Event starts 30 minutes after Tretzy ends. It gives you time to get back to your car and head down the road to Top Golf. So we have that. Let me go back to this, but the schedule of events, I want to get into the speakers before we go any further. We have several keynotes. Mr. Ed Hidalgo from Beable, Emil Cook, he's a Boot Up Community Forge, Rochelle Poth, who is PACT member and member extraordinaire, I should say. She's done a lot of training. She does a lot of speaking. She's an author. She is a great PACT member, friend of ours. She's speaking. Joseph Union, University of Pittsburgh, CEO of Blue Fox Labs, and Janet Fan, Amazon Thriving Elements. We have various keynotes throughout the day there. You can see the schedule on the website. PACT is going to have a booth at the event table. You check out the exhibitors, attendees. Everything is here online at pittsburghtech.org. A lot of PACT members present, a lot of keystones present. It's a way for them to, I don't want to say cut their teeth, but it's a great way to start out, these regional events. It's a nice regional conference. A lot goes on, and there's a lot of learning that takes place. It's great. We'll have stuff there at the PACT table. So check us out. There's student showcase going on. There's esports. They're going to have a competition. And like many other conferences, they'll have exhibitors and vendors there. A lot of local startups will be there. We usually have some startups. And the nice thing about some of the startups in the past, they've offered, free codes, like try out. Here's an app for math. Here's an app for early reading interventions, and xpi.org or .com, the math help. It's a free math tutoring site based upon math help site science based on the keystones. The USA math team coach, who's a professor at CMU, he's been there and pushed and showed out his work and pushed out his website to people. So there's a lot of startups that they're offering free resources for teachers in the area to work and try things out and work with them. So there's a lot there. Bird Brain is usually there, and they roll out new things. Bird Brain's a local company from Pittsburgh and a friend of PAECT. And the event, I know there's people from Northwest coming down, some people possibly from North Central coming in. It's right off I-79, which runs north to south through the western part of Pennsylvania. So if you're coming across, from east, take 80, take the turnpike, hit I-79, drive south. It's not that hard to drive. It's all interstate. So think about that. Registration is open. If you want to register and you're a PACT member, reach out to me, dominic.salvucci@pact.org, and we will get you that code to get in for the discount. But that's going on. And then one more thing that I want to talk about the Saturday after. And we were talking about this with the holidays coming up. It's crowded. It's like this time of year, you go from Thanksgiving into the Christmas and Hanukkah and the other holidays going on at this time of year. And depending on your religion, you have the various religious holidays going with Orthodox and non-Orthodox calendars and everything like that. And then you get to New Year. And then for educators, we get into regional conferences, Pete and C, and then testing. And it's like there's always something going on. So the best we could do was trying to find a date. We picked January 20th. It's a couple weeks after the New Year. It's, we have the weekend of Tretzy for the Pittsburgh region, which is hectic. but it's far enough away from Pete and C, so people that are doing both, they're not booking all their weekends from Western Pennsylvania. We're having a meetup at Flex Space. Snowflake STEM challenges will be going on. We'll have prizes. There'll be idea sharing, free appetizers. And I was talking with Howard Technologies, one of our vendors, one of our council members, and they're going to be there with some information. Also, Teachers First is going to give me some information on the free professional development they run, and we'll have PAECT information on professional development going on at that event. So there's a lot going on there. It's 2 hours, 2 to 4 p.m. It is on Green Tree Road, but it is the downtown Pittsburgh. It's by the West End Bridge. If you're from the area, Green Tree Road goes from the West End, downtown Pittsburgh, all the way to through the South Hills. This is on the downtown Pittsburgh side. So we're doing a Saturday event because it gets dark. The weather's up and down. We figured evenings, trying to drive through there would be too chaotic. So we're doing a Saturday afternoon event, 2 to 4 p.m. And it's free for members. So check it out. We'll have some challenges. We'll have some prizes, have some camaraderie, sharing of ideas, some food. So
good stuff.
Yeah, it's not quite a tech. Well, it is kind of a tech note. I'll consider it a tech note today. Even though I was accused of cheesing through tech notes, working on the same one, but we've barely scratched the surface on Magic School AI. I probably have like 2 more years of tech notes.
All right. Well, hey, listen. The Gong Show hook is about ready to come. You got advertisement and tech notes and galore. So let's transition to the next one. Here we go, brother.
All right.
All right, all in good fun. Good stuff, Dom. I appreciate that. All right.
No problem.
Checking out our next tech note. So I'm trying to think outside the box, not inside the Magic School. Just different things that, might be good at this time. I'm a big fan of TSO, playing that music kind of in the morning when the kids are getting there. But a lot of times you're trying to think of we're doing a little activity. There's some research on, different music, different beats, what does what. So I was just going to share 2 groups that I'll tend to put on. So can't play any music, don't want to be shut down, but simply 3. So, whether you have Spotify, you do a look on YouTube, back in the day was a big fan of Pandora. But now since obviously we're through Anchor / Spotify with a podcast, I try to make sure that I'm, pumping that as much as possible. So simply 3 is a group that, 3 gentlemen and they do pop music. So there's no words. And it's just the music. So Counting Stars and just some different things, Senorita, Chasing Cars, Take Me to Church, Shut Up and Dance. And, PACT/KTI is very big on it, Shut Up and Dance. It's awesome. You just kind of play it real quietly. So the kids they know what it is and they're kind of tapping their foot. So it's not like you're playing any Mozart or whatever. I got a weird look when I was playing Christmas jazz today. But simply 3 is one that I do enjoy playing in school. And the other one would be, when I go into search here, the Vitamin String Quartet, VSQ. And again, same concept. They're together. They're playing, and they have a whole bunch of songs here. So they're playing more pop music, more current music, but it's just the 3 of them playing. So it's you can hear the whole melody and everything. The kids are tapping their toes. They might hum a little bit. Maybe they sing a little bit very quietly, but as they're doing work. So I just find it, great. I know that, there's no audio as far as lyrics being played. So you're safe as far as that goes. Because for the longest time with little kids, I'd be listening to a music on the radio, and I was so used to listening to kids' songs versions of it that my daughters would listen to. And then I'd be like, oh my gosh, I didn't realize there was a bad word in that song, because I always heard, or the Kids Bop, I guess Kids Bop version of it is what we used to listen to all the time.
I used to play that in my classroom because you're guaranteed no bad words.
Exactly. So if you're looking for something to drive, get your kids going kind of a little crazy. Here, I'll have to pull this one up now that we're saying about pulling from stuff that we used to play for our kids that gets our students going. So this one's on YouTube. This one has music to it, but it is all very clean. No worries here. All right. It's this dude named Perry and no affiliation. So let's see if Dom's seen this one. Perry Grip. So he's got a song about raining tacos, yum yum breakfast burrito, potato dog. So this is hilarious. If you want to play some weird music the kids are going to give you looks at and then has the stuff, there's nothing on here that you have to worry about whatsoever. It's just silly, crazy music. So you got Vitamin String Quartet, you've got Simply 3, and then a tech note added bonus to not only have something funny that is going to get stuck in the kids' brains and also be very annoying, which it's just a digital version of a dad joke. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's some hilarious stuff. So Perry Grip would be the YouTube channel to check out. So, especially this time of year, as we're doing different things, kids are with you. Sometimes they are, sometimes they're not. A lot of stuff going on. It's just nice to kind of liven it up. And then, every so often pick a specific TSO song that doesn't have the lyrics, just have that play. That's always got a little bit more rock beat to it. But have some fun, with a little bit of music in the classroom, just to add a little different edge to it.
Yeah. I always break out the old school CDs.
Oh yeah.
A very special Christmas, volumes 1 and 2. I have some other like Nat King Cole, the Christmas album.
Wow.
And this year at the flea market, I came across a Buck Owens and his Buckaroos Christmas album. So I'm going to play that. I'm not in that era, but like this past week, we've been listening to, as the kids walk in, I have the Lone Ranger on one side of an album and an episode of The Shadow on the backside. So we've been listening to the Lone Ranger. Then I started threatening, like, pay attention, because that might be the extra credit question on the test is, how does the episode end? Well, what happened? I'm like, I don't know. You're gonna have to come in and listen to the last 3 minutes of the album to find out.
In the end, it's going to be a secret code that's going to be drink more Ovaltine. Right, there you go. All right, good stuff. Yeah.
I was thinking about this. Forrest Gump, he spent the last third of the movie talking about different recipes for shrimp, and they won an Oscar. I've spent numerous episodes talking about Magic School AI. We might win a podcast award.
There we go. We're gonna be up there. Let's talk to the Kelseys. We're gonna take out new heights. We're gonna go there with smart lists. We're climbing to the top.
Boiled shrimp, barbecued shrimp,
or you're gonna get us taken down. It's
remediated social studies, enriched social studies.
Good stuff. Oh man, good stuff. Well, hey, we're great conversation with Brandon. Great tech halls. Always good banter with you and I. And before we leave, this is really important. Just throwing it out there. There were some activities this weekend. Oh,
wait. That was driving home from the board meeting, and that's right. They didn't play.
As a 10-year,
they didn't play.
Long-standing Dolphins fan, not watching the game, turning it off in anger, whatever the mode may be, the loss is still a loss. I'm just throwing it out there. So
they didn't play, but there was a game.
That is a good way to put it. Even a tough one.
I listened to terrestrial radio because driving in, and even the announcers who are, the local announcers are homers. They were just like, okay, like this is not good. It happens. Mm-hmm. We play again Thursday night. I'm like, do I stay up late to watch that or not? It's our winter semis Friday, so most of the kids are going to be leaving early, so it's going to be. I think I could stay up and hopefully watch the game and hopefully catch a win.
Yeah, and we got a Monday night game next week, so it'll be interesting.
I have to say, there's a bandwagon with a fish on it. I'm starting to think, like, do I start jogging to see if I can catch it and jump on? I have the
Well,
wristbands.
you know,
I don't have them with me, but I have the wristbands.
they did make an appearance at the state meeting this weekend, so there is actual proof he wore them in public. Good stuff.
Yeah.
All right. Well, listen, thanks. We appreciate everybody for putting up with us. Always. We truly and we truly appreciate the fact that everything you do for your kids, everything you're doing for education. We're hoping December is a great month for you, and we'll catch you in 2 weeks on the PAECT pod. So thanks for watching and listening, and remember,
PAECT,
we are
the voice of EdTech in Pennsylvania
and
beyond.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. Have
Take care.
a wonderful evening. Let's take care of our sponsors. What do you think?
Sounds like a plan.
There we go.